When leaving a movie theater, there are a number of feelings one could have. You could be inspired, disgusted, enlightened, persuaded. But what happens when you leave a movie theater sobbing? Well, it probably means you just saw The Birth of a Nation. And no, I'm not talking about the extremely racist, most controversial movie of all time, 1915 version of The Birth of a Nation. Rather, this story is one told from the perspective of those who never had the chance to tell it, namely the director, producer, writer, and lead actor in the film, Nate Parker himself. This film follows the story of Nat Turner, an enslaved man whose eventual rebellion was one of the first indications of an eventual civil war. Within the first few scenes, we're introduced to a young Nat, who is extremely intelligent and a quick learner. So much so that the wife of his master brings him into her home and teaches him to read the most important book ever written, the Bible. This experience indoctrinated the word of Christ into Turner's mind and from a young age. And by 22, he began preaching not only to his fellow slaves, but went on a tour of Southampton County, Virginia, preaching to slaves who were deemed disobedient by their masters. And now this is where the director doesn't hold back, neither visually nor emotionally. In the scenes where Nat is visiting the other plantations, we see the gruesome reality of a slave's life and the retribution that comes with resistance. In this one horrific scene, we see two enslaved men wearing muzzles, refusing to eat food. This enrages the slave master, who then removes the muzzle, knocks all of the slave's teeth out, and shoves food down his throat as punishment. Now, while the film does have plenty of shocking moments like this one, they're beautifully juxtaposed by moments where the scenes, where the slave lifestyle is portrayed a little bit more abstractly. These scenes consist of dreamlike sequences where Nat is painted blue, a representation of his religious visions, and stunningly ominous visuals of multiple African Americans hanging from the trees, while Nina Simone's version of Strange Fruit underscores the tragedy. Because of these more abstract perspectives, the film stands out against other slave narratives, such as 12 Years a Slave or Django Unchained. It also poses perhaps a more important political statement than the other films of its kind. This is shown towards the end of the movie, when Nat Turner realizes that people are killed for no reason at all but being black, a statement which is all too similar to the headlines of today. This proves that Nate Parker's version of The Birth of a Nation begins with a rebellion, one that is still being fought today. I give it 5 out of 5 stars. Overall, at the end of this film, you'll definitely walk out feeling inspired by the ability of one individual to start a movement, disgusted that we let something so horrible go on for so long, and persuaded by Nat Turner's statement that this is still an ongoing battle today. And hey, if you end up leaving the theater sobbing, just know you're not alone.